All right, what is up, Bears Nation? I just wanted to get on here and do a quick kind of rough video. I'm going to stay off screen for the majority of this, if not all of it. But it's been a minute. I just wanted to check in with you guys and, put out a quick mock draft before the draft tonight. I'm doing this, I'm working on this right now on Thursday before the draft starts. So I just wanted to get this out there. A lot's happened. I do plan on going live later tonight for the actual draft, so be sure if you want to come join me for that. Could be a lot of fun. I think this draft is interesting in the sense of there's going to be a lot of trades, I think, and a lot of just movement throughout. Even though there's nothing going on right now, I think during the draft, I think people are going to be moving stuff. So it's going to be interesting. So I can see the Bears trading down for the sake of me going live and not wanting to, go live for 5 hours necessarily. I hope they pick at 10. I'm honestly not there's a lot of talk of the Bears trading up right now. I'm not really in the club for trading up. It doesn't really make sense to me. I wish I did this mock draft earlier because I was in the club of Ashton Jeanty at 10 pretty much this whole time. And I'm still there. But in terms of like trading up for Ashton Jeanty, that doesn't really make sense to me. I think that there's just so many good running backs. It's such a deep class for running backs. So trading up doesn't make sense. Taking him at 10 makes sense to me. But if he's like your blue chip, if he's like the last blue chip player that is available. But anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that. We're going to go through. I'm going to do the whole 7-round draft. I'm going to do it. We'll be at normal speed, and I can like cut some stuff out later on. But I'm just going to do it for the Bears. And I'm using ProFootballNetwork.com for the draft. All right, so we're going to go pretty fast here. So I'm going to do this draft with players in mind, players that I like in my mind, while also kind of touching on some Bears needs. It's kind of nice, Ryan Poles has done such a great job, and he's even talked about this, that we have just the goal of the offseason is to have flexibility going into the draft, and I think they have that. Like, this is one of the first years since I've been a Bears fan that even like maybe the first round pick that we select isn't going to be, he's not necessarily going to be a backup, but he could, he'll be in a room of people. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this going. Cam Ward first. Yep. Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Rambu, Mason Graham. There goes Jeanty. Johnson, Shamir Stewart, Tedero, McMillan. So as the GM, I'm taking calls and I'm seeing the Giants want to trade back into the first round, but they're only giving me pick 34, so I wouldn't have a first round pick. Not a huge fan of that. I am going to look at this and take some time just to get the best options available. Both Giants and that's funny. They both want a quarterback, so they want to trade back in. Interesting. Because Sanders is still on the board. So I don't hate this. So Will Campbell's on the board still. I can see them taking him. I know, everything that Poles has said, he's a big advocate for arm length, and that's why at first I didn't like the idea of Will Campbell. I wouldn't hate it at 10. I really wouldn't hate that at all. Especially right now we don't, Joe Thuney is not extended yet. So if Will Campbell can't play left tackle, you want to put him in there. Maybe he can rotate in with Braxton Jones, and maybe he can rotate in on the left side with Joe Thuney and learn from Joe Thuney. And I think that's kind of a great situation. So that being said, it's hard not to, I wouldn't mind trading back, and I've done that before. But in this situation, Ashton Jeanty's off the board. I think your most surefire thing here to do is to take Tyler Warren. And this is, again, not anything against Cole Kmet. I think I heard somewhere that the Lions last year were in 12 personnel, meaning 2 tight ends, 34% of the time or something like that, 33, something like that. We don't really have another tight end right now in the room that's going to be that could potentially be a workhorse, right? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and take Tyler Warren. I don't mind the idea of trading back. And just to cover all the bases, Obviously, defensive lineman in the first round. There's a couple of good ones. Calvin Beggs is moving up draft boards as an offensive tackle. I still like Braxton Jones, and it's nice to hear that the coaches are also sound pretty high on Braxton Jones. That said, I don't mind them also bringing in competition anywhere. Honestly, just bringing competition, it's always good. Colston Loveland's always also moving up draft boards. If we traded back, he could be a target. If we traded back in the first round, I can definitely see trading back. And so Nick Amenwari is one guy who is, he's just a very talented player, and it's just one of those positions like safety. People don't think we need a safety. We really don't. But having that rotation with, Brisker being injured every now and again, and then Kevin Byard, he's, I believe he's on his last year of his deal, but he's also getting older, so it'd be nice to bring in a younger tight end to learn under him. And aside from those two guys, I don't think depth in that. We don't have any developmental depth pieces in the safety room. So I wouldn't mind bringing in a safety like that. The first round is a little bit rough. Also, Jihad Campbell for linebacker. I believe he was a linebacker, but he also played some defensive line. But I do think the linebacker is also another position that people aren't really talking about. So I could see us, if we traded back again, getting Jihad Campbell. Gray Zabel is also another one that's pretty high on my board in terms of trading back, just because he has that experience at center and at guard. And so, just creating that depth behind all the three guys that you brought in, potentially maybe taking over for Joe Thuney next year if we don't re-sign him. I don't know if Joe Thuney is going to be like the Keenan Allen this year. Keenan Allen was a great piece to bring in. I'll do the offseason video and I'll talk about all this stuff. Anyway, beside the point. So Gray Zabel is the one I wouldn't mind bringing in at this point. And again, you got some good edge rushers. Again, our this is a very deep running back class. So, but anyway, we'll keep on moving forward. I feel like there's like 3 or 4 really good tight ends in here, and there's maybe 5 or 6 really good running backs. And there's also a running back who I'll mention later. I'm hoping to pick up, but I'm not going to mention him right now. I'll let you know who I saw, just like in the combine. He doesn't have great ball security. You guys can probably guess already just from those 2 clues. But without further ado, my first round pick will be Tyler Ward. Gray Zabel went at 25. O'Marion Hampton went at 28. A couple of those. James Pierce, 32. That's a good one. Okay. All right. So this is like prime spot. Just with the picks being where they are, 39. And then we got the Saints. Oh, and then we got, oh man. This is going to be rough, guys. This is a tough spot, guys. It's a great spot. But in terms of, I wanted to trade back one of these picks, right? Because I'm like, okay, no matter what, if there's like 2 or 3 guys on the board here, no matter what, you're going to get one of them, right? Well, I guess I could do this. I'm just looking at the top of the board right there, and Nick Amenwari falling to us at 39 is crazy, which is not impossible, and I've seen that actually in other mocks. So Caleb Johnson is another good running back who essentially could fall to us a little bit later. So, and we have a pick here. I don't really want to trade back this pick. It's not the worst, but just with there's 2 guys right here that I want. So we're just going to go after them both, and if we can't get the one that I want at 41, if the Saints happen to pick him, then I will end up I'll try to trade back there. So let's just go ahead and take Nick Amenwari, because there was talk of Dennis Allen playing Kyler Gordon at safety a little bit this year, and have him be like the 3rd safety. So having 3 safeties on the field isn't unheard of. So we're going to go ahead and draft Nick Amenwari. It's really just like best player available, and that's kind of what we're going for. And that's honestly, I'm just with these 2 picks alone, I'm already happy. So let's go ahead and get Nick Amenwari. Donovan Jack, they took a guard. Okay, nice. So the way this is falling, guys, 41 and 98. I don't I hate that. This is kind of where I want to be. Oh, this is tough, guys. These are all the things that you got to think about. But I just really love Kenneth Grant here as well. So, like Josh Connolly, again, like I'm not thinking too much about. I do want to get some depth on the offensive line. And honestly, here's another thing I was going to say. If we don't get Tyler Warren, I feel like 41 is like the last spot to get a decent tight end. And where did he go? Mason Taylor. I think that once Mason Taylor is off the boards, I think that the talent's going to drop off a little bit. We did get Tyler Warren already, so I don't need to get another tight end. But Kenneth Grant is hard to pass up, guys. So I'm going to have to go ahead and go with him. And then there's two more players that I'll mention that I really like, and I'm hoping we can get. And so far, it's kind of going the way I really like the way it's falling. So we're going to go ahead and I don't think we could trade back and still get Kenneth Grant. We could trade back if we didn't already have a tight end. We could trade back and get Mason Taylor. And then I'm sure, yeah, Caleb Johnson's still on the board as well. So if we were to trade back, we haven't touched the running back yet. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get our defensive tackle. And the defensive line now is going to be absolutely stacked. And the rotation is going to be great. There goes Travion Henderson. But yeah, we touched on safety, we've touched on defensive tackle, and we've touched on tight end now. I know everyone, without drafting Ashton Jeanty, we still do need a running back. But again, there goes Caleb Johnson at 61, so he fell even a little bit. So let's see where we're at. We're at 72. I'm trying to do something a little bit different, but Quinshon falling to 72 is also crazy. Like just going by best player available, this is just falling perfectly in my lap. I mean, like you don't have to think too much here. So let me just talk about a couple of things, like in the 100 area. So you got Cam Scatabo, which is another good running back. I'd still like to pick up some depth on the offensive line as well, and that's why trading back is kind of a great idea. But it's hard to trade back when like you have like a great player sitting right here. Like he's at 58 and we're at 72. This is too like the value is just too good almost. And we're kind of balanced right now. We don't pick again until 148 though also. So I might try to do something like if this is the board, like honestly, if what is it, tomorrow night then Quinshon Judkins is sitting there at 72 and we don't take him, I probably would be a little upset. But again, just in terms of like what I'm trying to do here. So 85 and 128. That's fine. I'm gonna try to do something though. Again, I think he's still there. That's crazy. So let's see if I can do something to get back. I want to get into an area here. That's kind of where I want to be. Okay. It's just not going to happen, so I'm just going to let this go. I kind of regret not taking Quinshon Judkins now. But again, if you can get in that area, or even if I could trade up, let's see. I've been trying a couple trades and it's just not working out for me. Let me try one more here. These seem like, okay, there we go. Okay, so I got the Bengals to trade. So here's the trades that I've done so far. I wanted to trade up to closer to 100. I'm hoping one of the two players I'm looking for in that area falls to me. I'm going to have to overpick one and then just hope one falls to me. So we'll see how that goes. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and resume this draft. So here's my picks so far. Tyler Warren, Nick Amwari, and Kenneth Grant. And then I've kind of just been trading stuff. So here we go. Judkins is still up there. There he goes, finally. All right, so we are at 85. Oh, interesting. Let me take a look on what's on the board now. Well, this is kind of where I wanted to be anyway. So we're giving up a 7th, getting 120. and then getting 103. That's the area I want to be. I could overdraft here, obviously, but we're just kind of playing a game here now. I forgot about him. He's another guy that I wanted to get. Anyways, Demetrius Knight Jr. If we draft him, that's a guy that I'm just, again, later rounds. He's ranked 95, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to get him and the other guy. But honestly, though, I'm gonna take this trade, and then hopefully I'll get the two. This is not how you normally should draft. I'm just doing this just to go after the guys that I like. Going after best player available. Like Quinshon Judkins being there for that long, definitely would have taken him and not traded back there. Like if this was like real, but I just want to touch on some guys that I kind of liked that we could potentially pick up later. So if we do some trading back like this, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept this and just hope that some of these guys fall. So there's actually 3 guys on the board right now that I want, and Demetrius Knight is one of them. So there goes Scatabo. There goes Demetrius Knight. Okay. So I have, I'm at 103. I've also seen Tez Johnson go to the Bears a lot in different mock drafts. But okay, so there's 2 guys that I'm really going for now, and I think we should be able to get both of them. I'm thinking. So, I understand, guys, I'm not touching the offensive line. I haven't touched on the offensive line yet, so we'll try to do that. I still got 5 picks left, but I'm really, again, just going after the guys. So far, like, these are all guys I want, and I'm really excited for. So the guy that I was talking about, I kind of touched on earlier, and we're just going to go ahead and draft him. He's ranked 110. Bashal Tutin. He's a running back from Virginia Tech. His 40 time was insane. I think his RAS score is insane, 9.56. Just incredible. Like he won the combine basically. And I did watch the combine, and he just looks. What I really liked about him is that he looked super smooth making his cuts when he did, and just in the drills, he does have so 9 fumbles over the last 2 seasons on fewer than 400 touches. It's not a great thing. So, but here's another thing I didn't touch on. So I like bringing this competition. This dude has like crazy speed. I forget what does it show what he ran? I think he ran like a 4.3 or something, like maybe even faster than that, maybe under a 4.3. Fast dude, right? I think he was the fastest running back at the combine. So it's just that burst that you want. Like Swift is kind of that burst. So that's kind of another thing, is that like Bashal Tutin and DeAndre Swift are going to have similar skill sets, but Bashal Tutin's a lot faster. So I still think that DeAndre Swift is going to be your workhorse. But I also, again, how deep this running back class is, I kind of waited until round 4 here, and maybe you can even get someone else. You still need to bring in a running back this draft because it is so deep and there's so much talent. So you need to bring in a running back, in my opinion. But we still have Ian Wheeler also. And like last like the preseason, before he got injured, he looked so good. Like I was so excited for him and DeAndre Swift to be the 1-2 punch, and Roschon Johnson like to be the goal line back. Like that's what it should be. Like have those 3 guys, and obviously you have Travis Homer as well. And who else do we have? Is that? I think that's all of them. Anyway, having 4 backs like that, and like Travis Homer again is more of your like special teams guy, and he's great on special teams. So I'm a fan of Travis Homer. Bringing Bashal Tutin just brings in that speed, but again, it's just creating competition for Ian Wheeler. And now you got these 2 guys that I'm not sure. I think Bashal Tutin would be faster, but he's just one of the guys at the combine when I was watching. I'm just like, this guy's different. Like, and I got really excited for him. So that's who I'm going to be drafting here. I got one more guy that I want to pick up, so we'll see. I'll call him out if he gets taken. I'm just kind of going again after the guys that I like, and this draft for me is just shaping up, man. So I'm pretty excited. I got one more guy who I'm really hoping to pick up, and there he goes. So that was it. Damn it. Go back. Jack Sawyer, the edge of Ohio State, was the guy I was shooting for. He's the one. Yeah, I actually watched some film from him. Like I forget what game I watched him play, but he's just one of those guys. He's relentless. He has a crazy motor. Again, I was. This is why I wanted to trade up to like the 100s, have a couple picks within the 100 range, so then they could get. I could have got Jack Sawyer and also Bashal Tutin. So I'm pretty balanced here in terms of like 2 offensive guys and 2 defensive guys. All these guys are difference makers in my opinion. Like I'm curious. I don't know for sure if Bashal Tutin did any returns or anything like punt returns, but that speed is just impressive. I don't know if that was a combine record or not, but if you guys haven't heard of him, look him up for sure. So anyway, I did lose my other guy, so now we're going to just play, probably play best player available. This was again the area where I wanted to. Was hoping he would fall to 120, but we'll go ahead and keep going here. Oh, I got 19 and 20. That's funny. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, maybe I could have packaged those and traded up to get ahead of. I might have been able to do that, but it's too late. And trades just take too much time in this, and I'm trying to do this quickly. And how long have I been talking for, you guys? I apologize, but anyway, we got a guard here, Darren Fairchild. We don't again like we haven't picked up offensive line, so this is kind of where it falls back, right? Like if my guys are going to be, my guys are gone. I already got Kenneth Grant for tackle. We could pick up another wide receiver. I haven't studied the wide receiver group too much, if I'm being honest. I mean, I've already said it. I'm probably going to lean towards Fairchild here. Let's see. Yeah, 318. He's a big boy. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go back to back right here. Let's see what this. Oh, that's a good. Again, now we're getting to the point of the draft where we can create, we can draft some backup, some depth, and maybe some developmental pieces, and maybe some potential starters later on. So I'm going to go with Fairchild, and I'm also going to go with that linebacker, Small Munden Jr. All right, we'll go with it. Let me just go back so you guys can see all this. So another linebacker taken after the one I drafted. Okay. Keep it going. I was just messing around with the trade decks, I don't know that we need this many draft picks. Hopefully you could have bundled something to get up into the 100, 110 range to maybe draft. Who was the guy? Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. Would love to see that happen. Cool. Okay. Well, so let's see what we got so far. And I traded back a lot for Bashal Tutin, so again, hoping to get Jack Sawyer as well, but that didn't work out. I'm just going position at this point. You can see if there's 9.6 is pretty freaking good for a RAS score. I'm just quickly looking at these things. There's 9.2. And that's another thing too. I think I mentioned Gray's Abel, another guy I wouldn't have minded picking up. I like the versatility of the players. So let's go ahead. We'll take a tackle here. Either one of these guys, honestly, they seem pretty athletic. So I'll go with Dalton Cooper. And then the Drew guy's still there too. So I could still see us taking maybe another. Well, we could bring another tight end for competition here. I think like defensive, offensive linemen. You can never have enough of those for competition. We do have Karan Amangaji as well, so like I don't want to take too many tackles here. I don't mind this. If we go Drew Kendall, because he has a 9.2. 5 pressures a lot. Okay, I'm taking him. Yeah, I'm taking him. We got some competition at center now. And this is at 240, so this seems pretty valuable. How would he drop this far? All right, we'll close out the draft with a center. All right, so there's my draft. We ended up with 8 players, selecting Tyler Warren in the first round at pick 10 overall, tight end out of Penn State. Honestly, I think I talked about this before too, but if Tyler Warren and Ashton Jeanty are on the board right there, and if you have them close in terms of like overall value, if they're both blue chip players and they're pretty much even, or even if Jeanty has a slight advantage, just with how deep the running back class is, I could see them going Tyler Warren. So honestly, having Tyler Warren and Jeanty there, let's just say they weren't both there at 10. I will go and actually show the full results as well. Genti did end up going at 6 there. So, yeah, so again, Tyler Warren at 10, Nick Emmanwori, the safety out of South Carolina, at 39. Again, not a need, but his overall value is he's ranked the 22nd player according to this mock simulator. So getting him at 39 is pretty crazy. And then also Kenneth Grant. Like, they were both there on the board, and Kenneth Grant, I forget what his ranking is, but it's still above 41. So getting both of those guys, just, I mean, if your defense wasn't already shored up, you just shored it up even more. And then one of my favorite sleepers is Bashal Tutin. In the mocks, I think he's ranked like 110, but he's been going in the 100 area. And then I was hoping to get also another guy ranked about 110, which was, I think he went at 109, which was Jack Sawyer, edge rusher. Wasn't able to get him, so I was sitting at 119 and 120. So I should have tried to trade them up, but I was trying other trades and they were all getting rejected. So I ended up staying at 119 and then getting Dylan Fairchild, guard out of Georgia, and then Small Munden Jr. out of Georgia as well. I didn't realize they were both out of Georgia. But a linebacker just to kind of add more competition to that room. And then to end out the draft, I got Dalton Cooper, a tackle, and Drew Kendall, center, who both had RAS scores over 9.0. So overall, I think this was a pretty big draft. The first 4 picks, like I said, I was trying to trade back to get Jack Sawyer and Bashal Tutin, but it didn't work out that way. So I still got one of them, which is great. Like, those are kind of my guys, just in terms of like the later rounds. I'd love to see us pick them up. So there's the overall first round. Steelers did trade up to Dewar Sanders. So, but yeah, so that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to try to get this out as fast as possible. So I apologize for the lack of quality in this one. I'm just kind of quickly doing a screen capture and a voice capture on my computer. So be sure to join me later when I go live for the draft tonight, and then I will have another video out after the draft, kind of giving a full off-season recap that you guys can check out, where I'm going to go more in depth about, I think my last video I was defending Eberflus, and honestly I still like Eberflus, again, more maybe as a defensive coordinator. Don't think he's a bad guy. It is his job as a head. I'm going to talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. I could go on for hours probably, but I'll leave that for another video. So I'll kind of cover all that stuff. We did bring one hell of a coaching staff, and I think this is like an all-star coaching staff. And it is just kind of about time almost that the Bears spent some money on it. But I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to make another video. Join me later tonight when I go live. And until then, we'll see you next time.